Prepare for the following erotic interactive transmission.
Oh! Hello! It's been a while. I might look really shitty. My video. My webcam. It's supposed to be. It's always bothered me that my webcam was always so much more sharp looking than the VHS footage I use for the overlay here. So I made it look worse. Same with the chat and the game footage. Don't worry, when we actually switch to the game, it'll look fine. Sorry it's been so long since I last streamed. A lot of things happened. You know, like the video game industry kind of firing all of its workers. Yeah, if you didn't see... Oops, I am not monitoring the correct audio output here. I don't need to hear myself anymore. There we go. So... this Friday, the final update for the Kingdom Hearts Let's Play is going to be coming out. It's a double length episode. We have just slightly too much to cover for one episode, so it's going to be about an hour long. And then once we're done with that, we're going to be moving on to a short side Let's Play that was promised to be made a little over a year ago now for charity. Ariadne, yes, Zork. We're going to be doing Zork with PNG tubers. But after Zork, we have another main line. I don't know why I'm talking like this. Let's Play that we're already 7 or 8 episodes deep into recording wise. So that'll start up pretty soon after Zork. And that's a Let's Play. So you know how at the start of the Kingdom Hearts Let's Play, I said that all the footage for that Let's Play was recorded back in 2018 when I was laid off the first time from Volition and super depressed. I may have recorded more than one game during that time period completely. So the next Let's Play that's coming up is something I also recorded 6 years ago. It's just been sitting on a hard drive. But since that's already finished too, I'm currently recording brand new footage for the Let's Play that comes after that. I'm with the free time I've got right now, I am trying to just burn through a bunch of stuff I've wanted to do. But for now, it's just been entirely stuff in the background and not, something you're going to see on the channel. But also, if you haven't heard about it, if you missed out on it, Bizarre Podcast is back, although it's for a different show, since there isn't any more JoJo yet. Bizarre Podcast Space Puppets. Currently, it's just our Patreon exclusive podcast where the roles are reversed. I'm new to the show. Grant is familiar with it. We're going through the sci-fi TV show Farscape, which we're still in season 1. We're about halfway through it. It's really good. It's really good, even in the weak episodes from the early parts. It doesn't matter how much you're pledging to our Patreon. Even $1 gets you access to that. It's just any amount, really. And we're getting close to it. But if we hit $2,600 a month, the podcast will go public. It'll be free for everyone to listen to. And this is it's mainly to help pay the bills, in between, random freelance projects I do. Chat, V-Writer asking how I've been enjoying Breaking Bad. I'm only I watched a quarter of episode 3 today. I really like it. It's a show that I have to only do maybe an episode or two tops in one viewing because it stresses me out a lot. It's legit. It's really good. And I'm glad. I didn't know there was a good amount of like humor in it, even if a lot of it's like dark humor. But that makes it a lot easier to watch, considering... I mean, it's only the start of the show. So only like a handful of people are making extremely bad decisions in their lives. And I know it gets worse for most people. But honestly, the thing I'm really looking forward to is Better Call Saul, because I really like Bob Odenkirk. And I hear that show's also extremely good. So, BC breaking or Better Call Saul is more chill. That's good to know. Yeah. Anyways, the demo for the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Why did I say the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth game? Like how Nintendo calls all their games currently. The Super Mario Wonder game. Yeah, the demo's out. Came out yesterday. I've played it a bit. It's a pretty long demo. And it's not even the entire demo is out yet. There's a second chunk that'll be put out on the 21st. It's like a sampling of like the world map, running like open world stuff. But I want to preface up front. If you're talking about Rebirth in the chat or whatever, I played the demo. I did not watch the trailer or any of the other stuff they had on that State of Play stream yesterday. Because I knew based on prior marketing trends, Square Enix loves to show like everything in their games in like the final trailer. So please don't talk about the stuff that shows up there for my sake if you can. Like even the end of this demo has like a short like mini trailer at the end of it, and I didn't watch that. This demo is all I need. I'd like, honestly, I was all, they don't need to sell me. But if you're going to give me something I can actually play, I'm going to play that, So with that, the green bean is congrats. What's my overall impressions of the demo? It's really good. I have a couple niggling complaints in there. Some of them are things that seem to be just minor things I had issues with the remake that seem to be present here. Get into that in a second. But anyways, let's switch over to the game. I generally don't do picture-in-picture stuff with games, but I figure, why not with this? So, like I was saying, the demo split into two sections with only the first being playable now. It's understandable that they did this because the playable section here took me about 2.5 hours to get through. Probably a similar amount of time for the stream also, because I'm going to, be showing a bunch of random stuff off. But yeah, there's also the second part that comes out on the 21st. That's the, like, open world, quote unquote, like, world map stuff. So, let me move myself over here for this menu. There's a lot of really nice improvements in this game, gameplay-wise. There's not too much in the options I feel like I have to change this time around compared to the first game. Like, the camera distance in and out of battle is something I had to change in the first game. There's a new thing that's really minor, but I care about it a lot. It's this post-action refocus thing. Basically, like if you climbed ladders or certain other interactable things, when you would get off, it would automatically move the camera to be behind Cloud's back. And that was really annoying because sometimes I didn't want to do that. You can turn that off now. It's great. the first issue I have with Rebirth, and I'm not too surprised this happened. So, Final Fantasy VII Remake had a weird audio balance. A lot of the time, voices would get drowned out by sound effects and music, especially in bigger, like, action-heavy moments and cutscenes and stuff. Thankfully, you know, even the first game, you could change the volume sliders for every individual thing. It's the same for this, and I don't know why it's like this, because at this point it feels like intentional that it's mixed this way, and I feel... I've never listened to this game in a surround sound setup. I don't have that. I just have, you know, stereo speakers and a subwoofer, just 2.1. I've always been really curious if the game sounds mixed right when it's in surround sound, because that means you would have the voices on their own, like, center channel or whatever, with the music and sound effects and different speakers, you know. So I've never been able to check that out. But anyways, I've found that putting the music and sound effects to 7 and keeping the voice at 10 is good. And also there's a new thing here, song volume, which adjusts the volumes of certain songs and cutscenes. I don't entirely know which songs it means, but I also put that to 7 just in case. And it seems that's like a pretty good balance. Also, yeah, chat, the demo is 50 gigabytes in size. I think part of the reason why it's so huge is because the open world segment of the demo is already in here, and it's just waiting for the date to hit to unlock it. Like, I don't think we'll have to download a patch for the other part, you know? And if it's, you know, it has a big chunk of the, like, actual, like, world map in it, that would make sense why it's 50 gigs. Also, graphics. I'm gonna start on, like, the resolution, the graphics mode before switching over to the 60 frames per second mode, so that we can compare those. I played through the demo in graphics mode originally because this build, who knows how old this build is for the demo, but there's some somewhat big sacrifices it has to make for the performance mode. Basically, it really lowers the resolution a lot to keep it at 60, which means the game looks pretty soft and blurry at times. Anyways, this current playable section in the game, in the demo, is the majority of the intro chapter of the game. Not quite everything. And I also have a sneaking suspicion, because just like the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo, I think there are a couple small cutscenes that the demo has chopped out so you can get to certain things faster. You'll see in a minute what I mean. Staying very hydrated for Sephiroth, for his sake.
I'm waiting, Cloud.
Like, I think this is an abridged thing just to give you an idea, and that's not the full pre-rendered opening, you know?
All right, then. Seeing as we've got the time, want to tell the rest of us about you and your buddy Sephiroth?
Sure. If Tifa doesn't mind.
Me? Yeah, no problem. It's cool.
It all started 5 years ago. I was 16 at the time. There was hardly any work for soldiers back then, and what little there was boring as hell. My heart wasn't in it. Then, out of nowhere, the job of a lifetime came up. A mission with Sephiroth. I couldn't believe my luck.
Like, there's definitely going to be a little bit at the start of the game showing them getting too calm and settling in the inn before beginning this, you know.
It's really coming down, huh? Hey, man. Feeling any better? I'm good. Sure don't look it. Wish I could help, but never been motion sick. Sorry, man. Ready to do this?
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about any original Final Fantasy VII spoilers in this stream. Same thing for when we actually do a full Let's Play of this game, you know, later in the year or whenever that happens. But if you're in the know for this part of the game, they do some really great little direction things, both voice acting and like direction-wise.
Bring it in.
Sorry. No can do.
Kids.
Say, I'd like to be briefed on the mission at some point. Because if it's another one of those Turks gigs, you can let me off right here.
Really?
Finally make first, and what do they do? Call a ceasefire with Wu Tai, stealing my shot at glory. I didn't join Soldier to be an errand boy. I joined up so I could be a hero, like you.
Well, our mission is to survey a rundown reactor. Another one of those Turks gigs.
Fine. Job's a job, I guess.
Chat asking if your items and equipment carry over from Remake to the next game. Not really.
Nibelheim.
If you have a save file from Remake, you get 2 extra summons from the first game that carry over to Rebirth, but that's it, I think.
Got some fiends in R12!
Let's go.
Sadly, it's not the really big green dragon in this part. It's the smaller dragons that you'd randomly encounter in this area.
You take
But still, they look fucking great.
Wait in the truck.
No way! I got this!
Sephiroth beefing it, having an off day. So, there is a lot of unique mechanics to Sephiroth, which I still have not gotten quite a good hold on there. And I'm also just really fucking up the blocking there. He did the thing. If you know, you know.
He was in a different league from the rest of us.
Nibelheim. That's where they built the first reactor. Right?
Yeah. It all started in the fall. Something was wrong with the reactor, and the whole village was up in arms. Talk of strange new monsters on the mountain only made things worse. People were scared, desperate.
The villagers tried to take care of the monsters themselves, but it was no good. Ended up calling Shinra. So the company sent help. Best they had.
Yeah, Nibelheim being the first reactor is a new thing. It makes sense based on the original, but yeah, that's a new thing. I'm going to talk about it in a bit, but there's a new book that came out that's about Tifa and Aerith's, backstory that takes place right after the end of Remake.
Home sweet home, right?
A lot of little things from that book made it into this game, which is kind of cool.
How does it feel? I have no home, so I wouldn't know.
You still got parents, though, right?
A mother named Genova. She died shortly after I was born. My father...
Whoa there. Genova?
I love that.
From the Shinra building?
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm getting to that.
That's so good.
Why am I talking about this? Come on, let's go.
Hope I didn't keep you waiting. I'm Xander, the mayor here. I wanted to greet you myself, to welcome you to our humble little town. Please, if you'll follow me.
Consider yourself off duty till sundown.
Yeah, there's a lot I can gush about in this demo that makes me just like like it wasn't like I was doubting that Rebirth would be good or do more of what I liked from Remake, but just seeing how they're leaning into the stuff that I really like from Remake even more into this, like it's super exciting. So I'm really happy that I tweeted a bunch of screenshots last night, but there is, the photo mode still exists. There's a couple extra things in it now, namely, there's frames, and there's, the filters, and the tutorial for the photo mode states that there's more filters and frames and stuff you can unlock throughout the game, either side quests or buying them or something like that. But I still have two big complaints, and that is, number one, the camera is on a very tight leash in how far you can take it away from the character and how low you can go to the ground generally, unless you angle the camera up. Other photo modes do this better. I can tell that the reason why it's like this is that they're very afraid of the camera clipping into things and making things look bad, but I still wish, at least let me take the camera all the way to the ground, man. There's so many shots that I can't frame up the way I want because it's just so tight. The other issue I have, there's still no depth of field control. There's a bunch of times where I get a really nice shot and I think, man, what would make this look way better is if I could, actually mess with the depth of field so that the actual subject of the shot is more in focus and that, your eye is drawn there while the background isn't being so, because sometimes it's there's some really dense rocky areas that have a lot of detail in them that kind of just ends up feeling like noise when it's in the background and just as in razor sharp focus as Cloud doing a backflip or whatever. Oh, Kitty Dragon, thank you. I'm glad you like my stuff. So yeah, those are my big issues with the photo mode. It's still decent. You can still hide your party members and stuff if you just want environment shots, which is nice. It could be better, though, still. And the other thing is just, I was talking earlier, this game has both a graphics and a performance mode. So we're on graphics right now. If I, If I go to performance, we get a nice 60 frames a second. The frame rate, there were a couple times I saw in the demo where the frame rate went a little below 60, but it was really smooth the vast majority of the time. But it might be harder to see on stream, but it's just lower resolution and then scaled up to 4K, and so things get just a little blurry and soft. And the other thing too is there's certain sacrifices the performance mode is making when it comes to textures. Basically, the level of detail of textures that come in depending on distance from the camera. This almost feels like it's slightly a bug that may be fixed in the final version or patch layer, because Cloud's textures stay pretty nice, you know, even at this distance from the camera, except his pants. His pants get kind of blurry, and then like when you see when I angle the camera up, his pants textures suddenly snap in like to a different level of detail. I'm being extremely nitpicky right now, but I've worked on video games long enough that stuff like this bothers me. But yeah, I'm still glad that the performance mode is there. I feel like if this is the level of performance and like visual quality you get on performance mode in the final version of the game after it's patched and all that, I would probably play through this in graphics mode instead. Because it gets just a lot sharper looking. Textures and model quality are better from a further distance. And the 30 frames is extremely like smooth, like it's just locked at 30 the whole time with no dips. Anyways, I'll make sure to put timestamps on this part, so if you don't, so people can skip the Digital Foundry section if they want to.
You know, I've been thinking about joining the military for some time now. If you need help, just say the word.
Look at all this mud. It's never gonna come off. What a pain.
Hey, do you think I could maybe come with you to Midgar? I gotta get out of this one chocobo town.
So, any friends here you want to see? Maybe a girlfriend? Speaking of which, I'll bet you're dying to hear about mine. Am I right?
And yeah, well, you don't get to see too much of them because this is a flashback section. Even though they look very similar, like all the character models for the main party have definitely been updated. There's a lot of extra details in some of the characters, especially Barrett, his jacket or his vest or whatever. Because it's like, you know, like the edge of like the armhole of like his vest is all frayed and stuff, and that was like kind of low resolution like card textures back then, and it looks way nicer in this game.
Backwater is an understatement. Don't blame you for getting the hell out of here. They got anything worth eating?
Overall though, this game looks like really nice.
How's it going over there? I can't tell you how happy
It's still on Unreal Engine 4. They're not going to upgrade to Unreal Engine 5 when they have like a process in place already and they want to crank these games out faster. There's a lot less issues compared to Remake of like really low resolution textures. You're still going to see them though. It still feels like they're being economical with like they want to have dense environments with a lot of little random objects everywhere, and they choose just to give those really low res textures rather than just not having them there. Anyways, I like the NPC that's just a little girl chasing a chicken in a loop forever. Oh yeah. We still got stamp stuff. Even in the flashback, we got kids singing the stamp theme song.
What do you think Sephiroth's like when he's not on duty? Oh, hey there.
I also really enjoy, like, even just from this initial bit of walking around Nibelheim, you can tell it's going to continue the thing of Remake, where it's just like, it has a whole ass video game script just for the minor NPC, like, quips in the background. Which I adored. There is still the quirk, however, of like in Remake, if you walked right into a crowd of NPCs for the first time, it was possible sometimes to trigger all of their dialogue at once, and so it's like a dozen people all talking at the same time. You're just like, gah. So that can still happen. But yeah, it's also very funny that because Nibelheim is just like a backwater shithole that no one wants to live in, that soldiers being here is big news, so everyone is just freaking out about Sephiroth. Oh, also, these kids here I love.
Sephiroth this time.
Like, kids just doing rock, paper, scissors to figure out who gets to be Sephiroth this time is really funny and just... it makes sense. I love it.
I'm Sephiroth this time.
It kicks ass.
Good luck out there.
Keep your wits about you, people.
Something else I really like, just as a minor, like, this is how you tutorialize in video games thing, is like, you can like climb and vault and jump over stuff now just by like holding down the circle button. And I love that they get you to make the player do this by putting a chest on the other side of a railing and then show a dude like exercising and just like hopping over the railing over and over. Oh, another little thing that I like because I care too much about this type of stuff. Also, yeah, the entire main menu is significantly different looking now. Wild. In Rebirth, every single item, weapon, and like piece of armor all has its own 3D model, so you can actually see what potions and all this stuff actually looks like. The design for potions is based on how they looked in Crisis Core on the PSP. And you could actually see these in Remake too. I never pointed it out in the Let's Play, but like in Sector 7, the shop that's in like the back alley that you do like the side quest for to kill some, you know, little flying dragons or whatever in the junkyard, he has a box of those potions like in his shop. But also, what the hell is an ether? I don't know. A different shaped bottle of like blue juice to chug? I've always wondered what the hell ethers actually were. And also, yeah, Phoenix Downs are really pretty. But yeah, it's neat. Like even all the bangles have their own 3D models, including and I like that Cloud is wearing the Road Warrior bangle, which is made for bikers. Fucking wearing the biker gang equipment. Also, the lighting in this menu changes based on the time of day in the game. So later in the game when it's nighttime, if you pop this open, it's nighttime in the main menu too. Cool. I have no idea if this game's going to have like a real-time, like actual time of day system or not, or if it's just going to be locked in one day, time of day until you hit a certain plot point or whatever. No idea yet.
Oh, hello there, Cloud. When did you get back in town?
Yeah, speaking of a big crowd of people who are all going to start talking at the same time, Sephiroth is in this building. This is the town hall where the mayor is. So, like, half the village is just waiting to see the cool dude come out.
Talk to him too, but now's not the time. Don't make any trouble for Sephiroth.
Sephiroth's in there right now. Would kill for a shot of him. But I should probably wait till later, huh? You want me to take your photo? Sorry, but I can't afford to waste my film on... who are you again?
Also, this rendition of the song Anxiety for when you're in Nibelheim here it's really good. Oh, by the way, time to eat a sandwich.
Good to see you. How about a taste of home before you go?
And he just like shoves it in his face.
Cloud? Silly boy. You should have let us know you'd be paying us a visit.
It's like, yeah, I agree, chat. It looks like the fucking, like, it looks like a sandwich from Team Fortress 2.
Eat up, Cloud. You still got room to grow, you know. You remember these pork sandwiches, don't you? They're exactly like the ones Mrs. Tyler used to make. I'm sure you must have taken them as snacks on a play date before. Wait, did you go on any play dates?
Oh, man. Megaronti, thanks for all the gift subs. I talked into my thermos. I'm sorry. That probably sounded weird. But yeah, you can just keep eating sandwiches.
Claudia must be so proud of what a fine young man you've become. Take care of yourself. You'll be spending the night at home, won't you? Maybe I'll pay your mother a visit. Oh, but I shouldn't impose. You two must have a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah. That's as many sandwiches as you can eat. You can have 3 before the game tells you, like, you won't be able to eat dinner tonight. Which is just a great detail. But yeah, again, like in Remake, when I first started walking around here, when I was playing this demo last night, I was just like, oh man, I feel so lost. This is like such a crazy new version of Nibelheim. And then like I looked at the central, you know, the little tower here, and looked around and went, oh shit. That's the inn, that's the store, that's Cloud's house, that's Tifa's house. It's the same layout. It's just, it's been expanded, so there's, the town hall is new, and all these other buildings have like expanded the village out a little bit further from the center. So like, it's like, here's the original stuff, here's the new stuff, and man, it's good. Like the instant I like got here and just stared at the general store section, I was like, oh, I know where everything is now. Which is cool.
So, the survey team is the coolest. Man, why didn't I enlist like everyone else when I had the chance?
Yeah, again, being just slightly picky. The game looks great. Lots, like, high object density here, but that does also mean there's certain things, like, I don't know, this random shelf. That's a low-res texture, but fucking who cares? Who cares, man? I've seen like almost no like texture streaming issues. There was like one cutscene near the end of the demo where like the camera cut and Cloud's like belt texture had not loaded in yet, but it's way better than Remake was in that regard. I've seen nothing like Cloud's apartment door. Also, I like these huge ass materia orbs just like on this 3-tiered thing. It's great. Oh, also, these 2 little kids here are easy to miss, but these kids are also from the original game where the little brother repeats whatever his sister says, but he always like screws up the pronunciation.
Ah, Shinra's here, I see. Thank you for coming.
You're Shinra? Shinra?
Oh, whoops. I didn't recognize you, Cloud. How you've grown. I must say, you look dashing in that uniform.
You're so cool. You're so cool.
It's got a little gremlin voice, too.
Soldier? You a shoulder?
You look so different.
And also, something I'm really happy to see, and I'm hoping this is fairly consistent through the game. I was focusing the camera more on the little kids, but one of the other like criticisms I had of Remake was that the automated lip flaps for NPCs, especially when you're just doing the like camera A, camera B cuts for like side quest talks with NPCs that don't get their own dedicated cutscenes, they were rough. They did not look great. The lip flaps here seem way better. Like if I get this lady talk again.
Gonna beat those monkeys. Gonna beat them?
Eventually.
You look so different.
That almost looks like it was manually lip synced. I don't know if it's automated or not, but every like thing that I've seen in this demo that seems like it should be automated, it looked really good. So I'm hopeful there. The DLC with Yuffie also had way better like lip sync for the automated stuff.
Thank goodness Shinra's here. We're safe. Now I can go back to hanging my laundry outside.
So how did it feel being back up there?
I don't know. Nostalgic, I guess? After 2 years away and all that.
Uh-huh.
So, no one's asked it yet, but this demo, like the demo lets you save, you know, because it's a fucking long demo. There's no like real save file that carries over to the full game like the Final Fantasy 16 demo, because again, I think they cut a little bit out of the intro just to get you into the flashback faster. But excuse me, if you play the demo, you get like some extra items in the full game. And also, when you get to this portion of the flashback in the full game, it goes like, oh, you play the demo. Do you want to skip that part? And then you can just skip it. And there's not really any items to like carry over anything because you don't keep anything in the flashback, you know. Oh, also, if we switch over to the region map, we can get just a teeny tiny look at like the world map of the game. It's just a small portion of it, and they don't let you zoom out super far. I did not watch the state of play. I did not want to be spoiled, but I do know, like, confirmed, the entire world map of Final Fantasy VII is one seamless map. It's no loading zones or anything. And, like, once you get the ability to travel over water, you can just sail across the ocean from continent to continent, which sounds fucking insane to me. I'm still having a hard time believing that. But yeah, this is just the Nibel region. And it looks big. It looks big. The amount of stuff they've shown in previous trailers, which I was okay with watching, I am hopeful for the open world stuff because it seems like they are populating it with a lot of like one-off mini games and stuff like that. And I'm also hopeful for improvements in the side quests because they have an approach that seems interesting, which is every single side quest is based around Cloud interacting with one specific other party member. So it's like, oh, here's a side quest that's about Cloud doing something with Red 13 or Cloud and Tifa, blah, blah, blah. Which immediately makes the side quest sound more interesting when every single one of them can be like a chance to get a bit more one-on-one with another party member. Other things I know that are in the game, like Final Fantasy VII. Oh! Thank you, Alfred Chicken. And also, hello. Thank you for the raid, Emily. We're looking at the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth demo. I am very agonizingly looking at every single detail because that's my MO. I completely forgot that I made the Alfred Chicken, like, cursed phone call my raid sound of him going like, I'm cool, I'm really cool. That's a fun way to get reminded of that. But anyways, like I was saying, is like the original Final Fantasy VII, as well as Remake, had like the hidden like affection system where like different dialogue choices made certain party members like you were more or less, and that would alter a couple small things. Like in Remake, there's that like heart-to-heart you have with one of your other party members at Aerith's mom's house, closest to the end of the game. And based on all your choices, who you talk to changes. That's more explicit in Rebirth. Ooh, cool. Do we got a scam? Do we got some type of bot going on here in the chat? We sure do. That's cool. We gotta block that. So get him. That stuff is more explicit because it sounds like so yeah, there's still like certain moments in the game where who you're with will change depending on that stuff, but it also sounds like maybe team attack abilities or something like that can sometimes be unlocked via like leveling up your relationships with your different party members. And it almost kind of sounds like, you know how Xenoblade Chronicles, if your party members, when they did, you know, good team actions together and stuff, it would get like heart points, and eventually you could like go to certain areas of the world and like have little story vignettes with them that were, only like a minute or something, but they were nice to have. It kind of sounds like that type of shit is in the game, maybe. I don't know. I'm not reading any of the previews that came out today. I only have some vague info. I don't want to know anymore, but that sounds really cool. Them leaning even more into the party interactions is great because it was already good remake. Anyways, here's. I really like how they handled this whole thing.
Huh? You went to my place?
I figured you might be there.
So I mentioned before that there's some stuff in the demo that is based off of the new Final Fantasy VII Remake book that came out like last year. A lot of that stuff can be seen in Tifa's house. First thing, there's a little photo here of a younger Tifa with her dad, who, by the way, is named Brian Lockhart. And this is how he looked in Remake. You only see that brief flashback where Tifa's looking over his, spoilers, dead body. And you don't get to see his face, but his face was modeled in that game. He's also a cowboy, though, yeah. But there's a lot of things in that book about, like, Tifa growing up in Nibelheim and all that. One of the small things was just, like, a little aside about how there's a stray cat that would come into her house a lot that they kind of adopted as their pet, but he would just kind of come and go. Hence the food bowl.
Remember my cat?
Her name was Fluffy, I think?
Yeah. She was always disappearing, and that day was no different.
Really small things like that, Also, I'm glad that they have a big-ass cat tree for the cat. Some other things such as, so the book kind of goes into how Tifa started learning the martial arts, and there's a portion where it's like her dad was not happy with her learning, like being taught by like a wandering martial arts master named Zangan, who, by the way, we will see shortly. But there's a bit where like her dad finally agrees to help be her like training partner. Hence, we got like the little gloves to punch into along with a big punching bag. Fucking, it kicks ass. There's a couple other little things I'll point out shortly too. But first I have to go into her dad's room and steal some stuff from his treasure chest. I like that the treasure chests in Nibelheim are just, wooden boxes, but still have, like, the same glow as the Shinra boxes.
You went into my room?
I did.
That really just, like, ashamed himself, like, I did. But also, this bit, also from the original game, the way they did this part is pretty good.
You went through my stuff?
I know I shouldn't have.
Cloud! You asshole!
It's so good. It's so fucking funny, man. So yeah, Tifa's room. Lots of fun details. Oh! I got jump scared by Snake. Thank you for the bits. Very easy to miss detail is on this random shelf in Tifa's room. She has a little figure of a PS1 Shinra soldier. That's pretty cute. Yeah, pretty cute, like, little Moogle plushie on her bed. A really fun Easter egg is this poster here. Make a splash on your vacation. It's fucking Zell from Final Fantasy VIII. He's doing his dolphin punch or whatever. He's got it's his hair and stuff, because, his whole fighting style was just a Tifa reference anyways. I was not expecting them to ever reference Final Fantasy VIII in this shit, but they sure did. It's like his same like pose and everything from the game. Kicks ass. But yeah, just like the original, you could go and play in her piano. Except this time, the piano minigame isn't like in one single location, you know, Tifa's bedroom. There seems to be pianos throughout the game in a bunch of different locations, and you can pick up sheet music from different songs from Final Fantasy VII to play in a rhythm game.
Did you actually play it?
They put a lot of effort into this minigame too, by the way. So, like, first, you can hit the R1 button to, you know, get different camera angles of Cloud jamming, which is pretty great. So, in the original Final Fantasy VII, yeah, they did manage to mash in enough controls so that you had access to, like, all the keys of the piano. Sorry, I bumped my mic. And it's the same here. Both the left and right sticks. You know, changing octave, semitones, chords, you know, fucking semitones, monotones, you know, crazy. It feels like if people really, you know, put in the time and effort, they can learn to play. They can learn to play songs on this shit. Like, if you go to GameFAQs, you can still find some, like, small, like, walkthroughs some people wrote for the original game and how, like, to play the Simpsons theme song or whatever. Anyways, yeah, the one piece you can play in the demo is Tifa's theme. You can change note speed, which just changes how quickly, like, the note prompts come, and it just makes it harder, but it doesn't give you any, like, score bonus or anything. So it seems just to be just for challenge's sake, if you want. This rhythm game is hard. Earlier today I managed to, like, get a perfect on it. I doubt I'll be able to do that again, but let's find out. Also, it starts off with a metronome, but the better you get, the less the metronome goes away and, like, Cloud gets better at playing. Oops. Yeah, I'm fucking it up. Metronome went away. When both sticks come in, that's when it gets really hard. Oops. Oh, fuck. Yeah, it's tough. I got a perfect earlier today, but I can't do a repeat performance. Yeah, A rank.
You're pretty good.
Thank you. But yeah, it's a pretty fun minigame. It's challenging.
Wow. Where'd you learn to do that?
Hey, you gotta play for us sometime.
Well, shit. You're a merc of many talents.
But yeah, really good shit. Another thing that's from the book that I was just talking about is there's a little bit about how there's like a like calisthenics class, like morning stretches, especially for like the old people in Nibelheim, and eventually Tifa became like an instructor there. Partially as like beginning, like early training from Zangan, so that she could become flexible enough to, you know, learn martial arts and stuff. Speaking of that, hey, you can see everyone doing that right now.
You worked out with everyone?
Just for a bit.
Could you keep up?
Yeah. When I saw this, he was like, oh fuck, that was established in the book.
That was some great.
And I like that this is just all like,
Now let's all take a short break. If you're feeling a bit tense,
if you don't read the book, it's not like you're missing out on anything. It's just, this is additional world building stuff that you could read about in that book.
all right, everybody, gather round. It's time to Zanga size. Ready to get started? Let's Zanga.
Yeah, it's called Zanga Size because it's developed by Master Zangan. By the way, this little side over here, this is where all the cats are. I have no idea if any of these are supposed to be Fluffy. I don't remember if there's a description of what Fluffy looked like. But a bunch of cats.
Ever since we heard a survey team, working our fingers to the bone.
Then I stop by my mom's. Not that it matters.
Sure it does. I know I want to hear what happened.
Me too.
Yeah. Go on.
That's such good direction right there, if you're in the know.
My dad died when I was a kid. So after I left for Midgar, she was on her own. It was the first time we'd seen each other in 2 years. First time. And last.
I'll be right there.
Claudia.
Cloud, is that you?
Hey.
Welcome home. Come in. Let me get a good look at you.
My. So that's what they've got you wearing, huh?
Claudia looking real young, but the book also establishes she had Cloud young.
I've never been so proud. The man you've become. Women must be hounding you day and night.
Not really.
You know, there's all kinds of temptations in the big city. I'd feel a lot better if I knew you'd found a good girl. One who'd make sure you didn't get into trouble.
I can take care of myself.
An older, more mature girl that could keep you on the straight and narrow and tell you when you're being a silly goose. That's the perfect type for you, I'd say. They are feeding you properly, aren't they? Oh, Cloud. But you know, Cloud. Wouldn't you agree, Cloud? You're my son. Of course, I'll always be.
Okay, that's enough.
That's really good, man. That's the good shit.
You two were neighbors?
We were, but it's not like we hung out that much.
We had our reasons.
Our reasons. nonsense, huh? Bet most of them had to do with you.
We need to leave these men in peace so that they can rest up for tomorrow. Don't make any trouble for Sephiroth.
Here's a cutscene that made me really happy. Any expansion on the character of Zangan, I've always wanted this.
A soldier.
And you are?
And also he's voiced by, I can't remember his name, but it's fucking Papa Nier, it's Sojiro, like, yeah, Jamieson Price, it's him, and I fucking love hearing his voice whenever he shows up.
Richard Zangan, a humble traveler of the world, and teacher of martial arts to the youth.
He's an absurdly buff old man.
Well-toned, but lacking mass. You need to bulk up.
Who asked you?
You could learn a lot from me.
Pass.
He's so beefy.
I have many pupils your age. At last count, 128. In fact, one of them's from this very village. Perhaps you know her. Tifa.
Sure.
A real talent, that one. She'll go far.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right? Got anything to say for yourself?
I didn't know.
Like, that single cutscene makes me go, oh, fuck, Zangan's cool. Can he be a party member? Also, yeah, like the chat pointed out, he has very, like, his costume design is very, like, could fit in anywhere from, like, Final Fantasy 1 through 5. Like, maybe even 6, honestly, if it's, like, Sabin. He's got the big pants with the low crotch for kicking.
I'd be interested to see how one of Shinra's finest fights. Should you need my help, just say the word. I've been working on some new techniques.
Yeah, and the fact that he's got that cape too, man, he looks cool. The only thing he doesn't do that he did in the original is do a backflip over Cloud. I was hoping he would do a backflip, but I understand why.
But looking back, all the signs were there. From the moment we arrived, Sephiroth just wasn't himself.
I have to allow the word crotch in my chat? Come on. That's a normal word to say.
What you looking at?
This landscape.
Huh?
I could swear I've seen it before.
You okay?
Big day tomorrow. We'll be leaving bright and early. You should get some rest.
All right. Will do.
Yes, chat. The word groin is allowed.
Night.
Good night, Sephiroth. Thank you, Elrose, for making taint
I tried, but I couldn't get to sleep that night.
a permitted word. Or excuse me, anus.
Too nervous.
Was pretty much the same for me.
Why?
Yeah, I was surprised too.
You know what happened the last time she went up there.
That was years ago, Brian. She's old enough to make her own decisions now.
We leave once our guide arrives.
Yes, sir.
Fucking Brian Lockhart. Yeehaw.
I must insist that I take you up the mountain. My daughter isn't...
Dad!
Tifa. You can still back out. You don't have to do this.
I'm going, and that's that. There'll be 2 soldiers with me. I'll be fine.
Pumpkin!
Good morning, sir. I'll be your guide for the day.
Tifa? You're our guide?
I sure am. You can ask anyone around here. I'm the best there is.
Man, the like fucking like Western plucky guitar banjo version of Tifa's theme. Holy shit.
You could get hurt.
Not if you remember to do your job, she won't. Come on.
For posterity, sir?
Not today.
Can you talk to him?
Please, Sephiroth. It'd mean a lot to us.
It's just one photo. Come on. Where's the harm in that? There? Thanks.
Say cheese!
Sounds like you were having a good time.
One more!
Yeah, I guess we were.
Later.
For a while.
The reactor was halfway up Mount Nibel. I was looking forward to breathing that crisp, clean mountain air again.
The music that's about to play is a super kick-ass version of the main theme of Final Fantasy VII. And like, I originally thought about streaming this, like streaming my first playthrough, you know, of this game. I decided not to because one, I wanted to play it on my big TV screen. And also, this is a game I care about too much. And so when it does stuff really good, I like get all teary-eyed. So I didn't want to do that on camera. Like the rolling credits here, fuck, man.
You probably already know this, but our reactor's the first of its kind. It really put Mount Nibel on the map.
I've seen a few reactors in my time, but none with such a breathtaking view. Who could tire of it?
Everyone, eventually.
Man, I wish I could go on trips all over the world like you guys.
Trips. I think you mean business trips.
Like, goddamn, man.
No fun at all.
Though you do learn stuff on them.
That's so cool.
The game looks really good. Like, fuck. I can take some low-res textures if the environments are this much bigger compared to the first game.
Everything okay? Not going too fast for you, am I?
Of course not. We're just trying to pace ourselves is all.
But I thought you guys were in a hurry.
Even so, you'll burn yourself out running like that.
I'm not even close to burned out. Not with all the training I've had.
Huh. Guess you really are the best there is.
Man. It's such a good, like, late, like, rolling credits opening. Got some deer. That bug is every bug.
Seen those near the village, and they're not nice. What do you think?
I think I got this.
Then they're all yours.
Copy that.
So, I have a lot to say about all the new additions to the combat, and here's the thing. This demo doesn't, at least for now, until they add the second portion of the demo where you're running around outside of Junon. This portion of the demo doesn't even have all of the new mechanics in it, or any of the, not even all of the, changes, but yeah, it's not quite as good of a demo for like just messing with the combat. Thankfully, you can make save points like at different parts where there is combat though, so you can just reload, I guess. The open world part will be a lot better for messing with the combat when they add that in like 2 weeks or whatever. Common complaint about the combat in Remake was aerial combat was pretty clunky and didn't work great for the melee characters. It worked a lot better for Yuffie in the DLC. They've seemingly fixed the aerial combat. It's way better. All of your like ATB abilities, not all of them, but a lot of them can be used mid-air now, and like the descriptions of the attack straight up tell you if you can use them mid-air or not. So yeah, it's the way aerial combat for Cloud like gets initiated now isn't like, oh, an enemy's in the air, you're near them, you push attack, and he just zips up into the air. You like manually like activate aerial attacks now. I think the deadly dodge materia might be gone from Rebirth because the deadly dodge move is how you activate aerial combat. Like if you dodge and start mashing attack out of your dodge, Cloud will start throwing blade beams from his sword to hit enemies from long distance. So that's an easy way to hit flying enemies from long range. And if you dodge and hold down the attack button instead, that's where he will leap into the air, and then he can start doing melee combos mid-air. So, as an example. Like, every time I roll and hold the button, I'm jumping into a mid-air combo there. His dodge is different now, too. It's a little, like, snappier and flows into his combos better.
You're done. Sloppy. Let's finish this.
Yeah, you can do aerial combos even on guys that are grounded.
You think?
If this is how it's going to be, there doesn't seem much point in me fighting.
I guess not. You leave it all to me, huh?
Don't mind if I do.
Every single track in this demo is good, man. Every single new song is a banger. Also, yeah, like some people just brought up in the chat. So if you look at, oh yeah, so you could set shortcuts for certain abilities. Just hold down L1 and hit a different face button. Because there's way better aerial combat now. There's a second segment that's like, hey, here's your shortcuts for if you're in the air, if you want those to be different. And there's also just a version that's like, oh, auto-equip airborne actions so you don't have to, deal with it or whatever. But that's really nice to have now. Oh yeah, and the description for like Braver and Focus Thrust and blah, blah, blah. Braver says activate while airborne to increase potency. So there's certain moves that work better in air now. So like Braver, if you do it in the air, it does more damage than if you're on the ground. And also like Triple Slash, which, returning skill from the previous game, it does more damage if it's hitting more than one enemy now. Also, Triple Slash is an airborne skill too. I'll get into the other stuff in a little bit. Am I planning to stream the update for the demo? Yeah, I'll do that too. I'm very excited about that. A new thing is that you can get first strikes on enemies. Like you get this little red reticle that starts to fill up as enemies become aware of you. And if you hit the attack button before that fills up, you get a first strike, which means that your ATB gauge has a little bit extra filled right at the start of battle.
You're up.
Also, if you're just doing normal melee attacks on the ground and you hold down the square button, you still get the spin attack. Although it seems to have an extra property now where if the spin attack hits enemies that are light enough that they could be a type of enemy that gets juggled, the spin attack will suck them in, so they all get pulled closer to you for more hits afterwards. Yeah, airborne triple slash. It's neat looking.
You're done. Bye.
Whoop.
Piece of cake.
Also, the Braver animation is a lot more extra this time around. He doesn't do a normal flip anymore. He jumps and does a big twist in the air before slamming down, which is really cool.
Is that Mako? Whoa.
Come on, soldier. You can do better than that, can't you?
Just you watch.
So, something they brought over a mechanic from the Yuffie DLC. Every single party member in the game now can do a perfect block. So yeah, you block right before you're about to get hit. You take 0 damage. And on top of that, it fills up the stagger meter. And on top of that, there's more enemy attacks this time around that are more heavily telegraphed, so the perfect timing is a little bit more viable than it was in the Yuffie DLC. For instance, this guy has the charge move, which is fairly easy to parry. Like that. It floors enemies, they fall over for a brief second. Yeah. And it seems any move can be perfect parried aside from, or perfect blocked aside from grab moves.
Let's finish this.
Punisher mode still exists. The combo is different now.
See ya. Well, that's that.
You probably saw it a couple times when I was messing around in combat, but there are still some times where the camera can wig out a little bit, and it's basically just it hit a really tight wall or corner, or an enemy moved past you really fast, so the camera whips around. That's still around, but it's not too bad.
Take it away.
You're done. Brace yourself. Let's buy.
Man. Feels good.
Well done, Trooper.
Thank you.
got the rest.
Oops. Yeah, airborne braver. Fucking perfect block.
You're done.
We still have a long
Feels good.
Shall we pick up the pace?
Not unless we absolutely have to. Our guide might not be so lucky next time.
Then, how about I go on ahead and clear the way for you guys? I'll be careful.
Look at how good I can do squats. I'll be fine.
Cool. See you at the reactor.
All right, so you do get to mess around with your materia in this section. So one of the worries I had early on when I was, noticing the improvements to the combat, I was like, oh no, you can do this perfect block. Everyone can perfect block. Cloud's entire, just normal action ability set is just a little slicker. I was like, man, is this going to kill kind of or reduce the importance of the, the RPG side of the battle system, which I thought Remake hit essentially the perfect balance of. But no, even from just this demo, before we even get to the open world segment, which has more involved combat, blah, 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 there's new materia that you pick up throughout this demo that tells me, oh man, there's going to be some good, interesting choices to make with your materia setup. Yeah. Still got assess, just like in the first game, so someone's always going to be holding on to assess if you want to scan enemies, which is super important. So something I do notice from the HUD, the menu, is it looks like both the weapons and your armor might be able to have more materia slots than in Remake, which I think the maximum was 6, right? It looks like it might be able to go up to 8, possibly 10 materia slots. I don't know. Also, looking at the stats in the bottom left, there's a couple improvements I really like. Mainly, if you click in the left stick, you can see additional stats. You can actually see what your actual critical hit rate chance is and how much damage your critical hits are doing. Really nice to actually be able to see that now. The ATB charge bonus stat is basically how much extra does your gauge fill up when you're landing attacks or blocking attacks, or anything that it boosts the gauge more. And then also there's this thing called initial limit level and max limit level, which we will be able to see later depending on who gets a limit break during the boss fight. But from the start of this game, even in the flashback, but also I've seen footage of present day stuff in the game. Cloud has both of his limit breaks already from Remake. And the way this works now is you don't just equip one limit break like it did in Remake. Rather, there's certain actions you can take in battle that increase your limit level. So it's you might have a full limit break gauge, but you'll only be able to use your level 1 limit. But there's certain actions you can take in battle that increase your limit level, so then you get access to the stronger limit breaks above it, which is an interesting change. I was really curious how they were going to handle having multiple limit breaks. Yeah, this part brings up the Punisher mode again. You had the same old operator in Punisher mode with Punisher. You hit triangle to go into Punisher mode, where you cannot move very much, but you get access to a stronger melee combo. And also, if you go into Punisher mode right as you're about to get hit by a physical attack. You parry it. Same if you just block something normally while in Punisher mode, you will parry it with a big attack. And it still has the rules of if you do a dodge while in Punisher mode, you get set back to your normal operator mode, and Punisher mode still can't counterattack long-range attacks or magic attacks. So all those rules are still the same.
Now we're talking. Now.
Something I really like is there's a really nice, like, juicy hit stop when you pressure enemies now to, like, more signify, like, hey, you should hit this guy with, like, focus thrust and stuff. But yeah, the scanning enemies is pretty similar. There's something I've noticed that's different here. So, like, you know, you can see the resistances on the right and all of that. There's an extra thing here that says while staggered. So it looks like there's an additional mechanic now of some enemies might become vulnerable to magic elements or certain types of attacks when while they're staggered that they aren't normally weak to, which is like cool, and another reason why you want to stagger stuff, because I can imagine already that there's bosses that are like pretty highly have pretty high defense, but if you're able to stagger them, you know, you can do way more damage than normal than you normally would to a staggered enemy because they'll be weak to fire or whatever. Detrimental status effects is like new phrasing. It was the same. It's the same as it was in Remake. Basically, it's saying the weakness / detrimental is just more clearly stating like, hey, we're listing what elemental weaknesses it has as well as what status effects it's weak to. Like what status effects are easy to apply to it. Like, you know, do you have to try 3 times to poison it, or is it weak to it and you just poison it successfully 100% every time? First time. But yeah, another thing on the bottom left, you can see listing, aside from just what items they drop, rare items, what you can steal, morphable items. The morph materia from the original game is back, which I'm shocked by. The materia is just like, you make an enemy, you take out most of an enemy's health, and you can just use the morph command to turn them into an item. That's really exciting to me. Turning enemies into items is always a fun thing, especially when it's just like, ooh, I bet these enemies turn to something really rare or whatever. Yeah, and I'm glad that a bunch of enemies still have, like that yellow text, enemies still have specific behaviors or things you can deal with to more easily pressure them. These bugs are super easy. You know, just hit them with ice or an attack that launches them into the air, pressures them.
Sloppy.
Yeah. Punisher counter feels great.
Piece of cake.
By the way, I will say it's really nice to be able to, you know, hop over things and, you know, jump up these rocks and stuff so that everything feels a little less restrictive and open. I will say this feels really snappy and responsive, but it comes at the cost of sometimes it looks a little herky-jerky, like janky. They prioritize control over smooth animations, basically. Yeah, it makes the game feel less linear simply just because you can climb stuff. By the way, you can also do a dodge in the air now. Shit. Shit. Also, this battle theme with, like, the banjo in it, really good.
Good.
Damn it.
Come on.
Getting really juggled here.
Let's finish this. Now. You're done. I'll end this.
Well, that's that.
All right, I should probably put myself up here so folks can see my fucking health and stuff. Also, yeah, there's some like new types of healing items and stuff. There's this mixed high potion, which is a potion that also restores a little bit of MP. Because I do know that like there's a bunch of random, you know, bits and bobs you pick up from enemies in battle, and also just through crates in the open world that are like, you know, crafting materials so that you can make potions without having to go to a shop and stuff. So.
Hey, not that way.
It's a dead end. Rockslide took out the bridge a while ago. Come on back, okay?
Okay.
There are still some parts where you're, you know, crawling under something or squeezing through a space. I've seen some people groan that these are, they still have the slow walking, like, loading zone segments. I don't buy this one's for a loading zone, like, because we've already seen how quickly, like, fast travel loads in the open world parts and all that. I think this is more just a player gating thing to make you go back and go, oh, I wouldn't have thought to go that way first, yada yada. I don't know. I don't know.
Gotta make a detour through a Shinra facility.
To think I almost made you our guide. Good thing I reconsidered. Otherwise, you'd have led us straight off a cliff. Lead on.
Yes.
Also, it's just really exciting, you know, there was some really nice looking, you know, like vistas in certain parts, like being able to look up and see the plate in Remake, or when you're climbing the rubble of Sector 7 and all that, but those were just skyboxes. It's really nice to go like, oh, you get to see the big jagged Mount Nebo rocks, but they're actually, you know, modeled and not just static images. It's really nice. So yeah, here's a new materia that I think is interesting. Like when I picked it up and it just says, oh, it's a level boost materia, I thought that was just different phrasing of materia that lets you, you know, gain experience faster. No, it's more interesting. Level boost lets you, whatever materia it's linked to, forces it to level up. So I only have a level 1 ice materia, but as long as the level boost materia is attached to it, it's up 1 level. Which is really interesting as like a way to like, oh, you're sacrificing the amount of abilities you can slot in, but you're getting the benefit of like choosing what higher level spells you want earlier access to. I think that's cool. I think that's a cool trade-off. And it's not in this portion of the demo. I'm sure, I wouldn't be surprised if we see it in like the open world segment that gets added later. There's a bunch of new materia I've seen from earlier previews last year that are more like materia that allow your party members to do extra things when they're being controlled by the AI, like basically linking a materia to an AI materia. So it's just like, hey, you can freely use this ability whenever you want, you know? Stuff like that. Yeah, the game just looks really good all around, man. Also, this part made me really happy. I was not expecting to see this enemy here, and this is an enemy I've wanted to see what they would look like in the remake so bad. These fucking guys. So yeah. These guys you would first come across in the caves right after the swamp with the Midgard Zolom. But in that game, they were pink and they looked fleshy. So seeing them being more like stone-like was interesting. These guys are really fun to perfect block also. Damn it. Okay. Put myself over here. Yeah, these guys are fun to practice perfect pairings, parries on, as well as just, you know, Punisher mode. Oh, he really psyched me out with with that one. So the gimmick of this guy is that your attack kind of bounce off of him from the front. You got to get him in the back.
Brace yourself. Let's finish this. Piece of cake.
You know, Dracozon, that guy does kind of give off Clay Fighters vibes, doesn't he?
The reactor may have been around for a while, but there are still pockets of Mako gas all over the mountain. Try not to breathe it in if you can.
Don't want to get Mako poisoning.
Elevator access restricted due to Mako gas concentrations. Air purification unit must be employed to clear excess Mako gas.
So yeah, there's I've also seen some people saying like, ugh, this is just a way to mask loading. I think this is an attempt at Naughty Dog ass style like pace breakers, which is like, okay, we're gonna slow down for a bit. You have to go find a ladder or whatever to proceed, but instead of finding a ladder, you're getting the fucking Shinra Zamboni to suck up Mako. And also there's like this little tether physics thing going on. It doesn't matter here, but it's kind of demonstrating this tether matters. Because there's one other segment where you use one of these where it's slightly more of a puzzle because the tether will get caught on shit and you have to figure out like how to get it around certain things and open doors so you can suck all the shit up. I don't mind it. I understand why some people might not like that because they feel it's just like padding or a time waster, but also games don't have to be go, go, go all the time. I don't know. I can appreciate goofy, slow things in games sometimes. Yeah, is it flavor? Maybe. Is it a way to re-emphasize the idea of Mako poisoning and how breathing in that shit is bad? Maybe. Might be a narrative design thing. Had to tell the chatbot to permit the phrase "suck off." Also, it's really minor, but like when it started raining here, I was really excited to see it start raining because it's just not. You don't really see any weather effects in Remake at all, partially because of, you know, where you are for most of the game, but it's like, oh man, what if there's dynamic weather or something? What if it's Death Stranding 2?
Just thinking about crossing that thing.
Then let me go first.
Hey, I'm the guide here.
Are you okay?
Not really!
What are you...
So I want to say I think the direction a lot of the cutscenes is really good, like camera movement wise and stuff. The part of Cloud saving, like grabbing the other soldier, and it's like a first person shot, you know, with his arm. I think that looks good.
He's in Fate's hands now.
Rip.
Do you know the way?
Yeah. Following the river should get us back to the village.
We're not going to the village. Can you get us to the reactor?
Sorry, I don't think I can.
I see. Well, we certainly can't send you back alone. You'll be safer with us.
Okay.
I'll be joining you up front this time. What? For your performance review.
You kidding me?
Good luck.
Yay! So yeah, on top of, you know, holding down the circle just to vault over stuff, we got fucking Uncharted ledges. Yeah, benches are still like full heals, but also based on the tutorial there, it also sounds like, you know, you can just go to normal ass inns like in the original game once you're in the open world stuff. So, just like the original, if you try to fuck with Sephiroth's equipment, you cannot. Not even his materia. He will not let you touch his stuff. He doesn't have anything too crazy on him, just, you know, mastered versions of like revive and heal and all the various elements. Also, despite both him and Cloud being the same level, his stats are just way higher. Way higher. And also just like in Remake, when you're normally walking around, you are Cloud, but you can change who the party leader is so that once you go into battle, you automatically switch to whoever you've set to as the leader. You don't even need to manually do this in the demo, though. Like, the next battle we get into, it just automatically sets you to be controlling Sephiroth first. So I'm gonna save here. Why not?
Off you go.
So yeah, different from the remake, you can actually control Sephiroth this time. He's not an AI guy who just annihilates everything for you. So yeah, Sephiroth, I've only practiced using him a little bit. So there's something, like, sometimes I just get owned as him a little bit because I'm not used to his combat style. But basically, look at the bottom left. You know, he's got his normal attack, and he's got Aura Charge on triangle. That's a meter that fills up with every hit you land. And once it's full up, you can start using triangle as, like, combo finishers. And it's like, you know, in Bayonetta or Metal Gear Rising or something, where you are in your normal square, like, combo, the triangle finisher is different. The finisher also changes if you use it while you're mid-dodge. Also, if you're, like, using it in the air. And the main thing, like the gimmick to the Aura Charge meter, is that Sephiroth is really good and he doesn't get hit. So the mechanic works the same way, where, like, as long as you don't get hit, that meter stays full and you can keep using combo finishers. The instant you get hit by anything, that meter completely resets to 0. Oh, and he's also got one other thing. If you tap the guard button, he stays in this counter position, and if you hit square, right, someone's about to hit you, you'll do a special parry, which I'm still not great at timing-wise, sadly. But if you do land a parry in that mode, the combo finisher changes into a counterattack that you could, like, store and use for later. But yeah, it's kind of like the motivation meter when you're playing as Virgil. I agree.
Come now.
Of course, I got hit before I could show off any of the cool stuff.
More Mako gas ahead.
There's no way around it either. Just have to go through. Let's not waste any time. Mako this thick is dangerous.
Also, his dodge is actually a teleport, a short-range teleport. Unless you're dodging at an enemy, in which case you just zip to them, like, almost no matter what the distance is.
Let's hurry.
And that's how you can get Sephiroth, like, into, you know, air melee combos. You just have to dodge at an enemy, and if they're airborne, he's airborne too. Another new materia that was not in the previous game is the empowerment materia, which is just it's your buff spells. So you have bravery, which increases attack power, and faith, which increases magic attack. And it also has resistances to debrave and defaith, so you link that with the appropriate materia and you can be protected from getting debuffed.
Mako spring.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, but if we keep using Mako to power our homes, springs like this will disappear, right?
What are you talking about? Who told you that?
My dad. And the mayor, if you must know.
Except the planet's huge. Mako will never run out, right?
Naturally formed materia. And look at the size of it. Astounding. For the Mako energy to condense into something like this, it must have taken an eternity.
I've always wondered, how does materia let you cast spells exactly?
How did you ever get to be a soldier? To put it simply, the knowledge of the ancients is sealed within each orb. That knowledge not only connects us to the planet, it allows us to tap into her power. That's how we can use magic. Or so they say.
Really? Magic sure is weird.
I know someone who'd be livid to hear you call it weird, or magic for that matter. I can just imagine what he'd say. It's an affront to science.
Who?
Hojo, from Research and Development. His predecessor was a great man, but him... he is anything but. We should press on.
Yeah, no chat. That lore about how materia works is present in the original. It's just, I guess, better phrased in this compared to the original. There's a parry. There's a parry. Oops. I did this last time too. I was walking back too far and I escaped the battle. And so this guy just kind of shuffles back to where the battle's supposed to be. I feel like the battle boundary for that fight should be a little bit further back, because I keep trying to lure him back out of this hallway where it's a little more wide open. Oops.
Steady.
Oops. I would love to parry again. It's cool when you do that.
Come on.
God damn it. I keep fucking it up, man. There you go. And there's the counter.
Well, that's that.
I was doing better earlier today, man. But yeah, I just don't have a lot of practice with Sephiroth. But it's really satisfying when you do it, though. The sound. The little ting is really good. Oh, Sephiroth got stunned.
Try this. You're done. Bye.
It's all you.
Stand back.
This way.
You know, I've never actually checked. Okay, that's where I am in relation to the town on the world map. Okay, cool. I don't know, if this whole bit I've traveled is just that segment, that makes the fucking world map seem like it's going to be fairly big. Like, not, you know, not the biggest open world or anything, but this seems like a pretty hefty size. Oh no. One of my trusty Uncharted ledges broke. How could this happen?
Heads up.
I ran into the Screech.
Let's finish this. Sephiroth, take the lead.
Ah, too far away to do it. So, there's another mechanic that the game doesn't introduce until a little bit later in the demo. But there's, in the Intergrade DLC, the intermission DLC with Yuffie, you know, they added that additional thing of, like, synergy attacks. You could hit a button to toggle, like, synergy mode so that when you're hitting your normal combo, you know, attack buttons, Sonon, who's linked up with you, also, like, joins in team attacks. And if they both had ATB available, you could spend it to do special team-up ATB abilities. That system's still here, but, like, alt tweaked a lot, and I think is a little smarter than it is in the intermission DLC. So there's two different, like, synergy things going on. First are synergy skills, which are like team up attacks that don't take any ATB gauge to use. And the way you activate them is you just, while you're holding down the guard button, like while you're guarding, if you hit square or triangle, that will activate different team up attacks with different party members. And it's divided into both offensive and defensive synergy skills. So you can have a total of 4 of those equipped on each party member at once. And so the one we have with Sephiroth is him teaming up with Cloud to do a dual blade dance, which is just a big... just a big sweeping attack with both of them at the same time.
Gotta say, that one felt pretty good.
And that's just the synergy skill with Sephiroth. If we switch over to Cloud, it's different, which I'll show in the next fight. Spruce in the chat, yeah, this is the same voice actor for Cloud, and I agree, they do a really good job of making him sound like younger. I do think the voice actor's, you know, trying to pitch up a bit and talk a little differently, but I also think, like, post-processing wise, I think they may have actually just straight up pitched his voice up just a little bit. Wow, he made it here first. Yeah, I'm very excited to do a Let's Play of this. It'll probably be a little while, both because I have some potentially big life things coming up. Positive, for once. That might take up a lot of my time. We have a couple other LPs already in the works. But also, it just sounds like this game might be really fucking big. Like, Remake I already thought was kind of a big game. For being a linear game, it still took like 35 to 38 hours just going through the story. And, you know, you always have to take it with a bit of a grain of salt when devs say how long their games are. But they claim the main story is something like just burning through only the critical path is like 40 to 50 hours, which is pretty wild. And then with all the side stuff, they claim it's like 100 hours. So we'll see. But it seems, based on the trailers I did not watch yesterday, it sounds like it made the game look gigantic. So I don't know. Anyways, got myself up here. Oh, you can climb up this shit too. I never noticed that. That's how they get down here. They hop down from over there. Okay. I always thought they were just like teleporting down here. Oh, so chat, yeah, the devs have said where this game, where Rebirth ends based on the plot of the original game. I guess plug your ears if you don't want to hear this. Okay. They said Rebirth ends at the Forgotten City. So that's end of Disc 1 of Final Fantasy VII, which, you know, is a 3-disc game. That makes it sound like, oh god, how are they going to fit the rest of the game in just one more game? But the game was not divided up evenly between those discs. Disc 1 has the majority of the game on it. Disc 2 and 3 exist simply because that's when the plot really kicks into high gear, and so a lot more data is used up by FMV sequences.
Not again.
Yeah, this is where they introduce the use of synergy
Now
skills.
we're talking. I won't let you down. Show him what we can do.
Oh, damn it, he shot that tornado at Sephiroth instead. So yeah, there's 2 synergy skills on Cloud to use with Sephiroth. The first being this Void Shatter. Like, you hold down the button to charge up this blade and then let go to slam it down.
Show him what we can do.
Damn it. The other one, which I've only used once so far, let's see if he can shoot another like projectile or tornado at me or whatever. And then I'll be able to use it. Yep. Shot at Sephiroth. Never mind. I'm gonna heal up. The other synergy skill here is a counter that counters long-range attacks, specifically. There we go.
Get him.
Whiffing it. There we go. I can definitely hit him when he's fucking staggered.
What we can do. I got this. Hold still.
Oh yeah, one other attack Sephiroth has is if you hold down the attack button, he shoots a little fireball out of his hand. That's his long-range attack. Is there something? Yeah, there is more materia up there. Oh yeah, this is another interesting one. So there's a precision defense materia, which is different from the similar sounding materia that that remake had. So precision defense, level 1, it makes the timing window for perfect blocks easier. Level 2, it increases how much stagger damage a perfect block does. And then level 3 is really interesting. Perfect blocks will also block grab attacks, which are generally unavoidable, like unblockable. I think that's neat. Whoops. Over here. Like, I'm super interested in seeing how certain fights would change based on being able to perfect block grabs.
Farewell.
Yeah, piece of cake.
Oh, the grasshoppers, they have the weird boing noise. I have not heard it, sadly. It's a shame. I wasn't thinking about that, but I really did like that sound effect. Oh yeah, there is one of these in the demo. Yeah, there's the autocast materia. So whatever spell you have linked to it, that party member, when they're controlled by the AI, will just freely use it. It's not like the synergy materia or whatever from the previous game. It's like, if you do an ATB move, then they'll cast a spell. I'm trying so hard not to fucking burp on mic. I'm sorry. And yeah, it seems, based on some other vague previews I heard last year, that there are some other materia that alter the way AI party members behave so that they can do more than just, basic attacks, blocking, and dodging. Hell yeah, time to suck up some Mako. Everybody move out of the way, I'm the Zamboni man. Also, yeah, that giant stack of crates, yeah, that's super satisfying to hit.
Mako gas levels reduced by 20%.
So yeah, it's like, okay, you suck up the Mako there, but you also need to open up this door here, because if you try to go around that side of the fence, the tether isn't long enough for you to go around it, so, it feels extremely Naughty Dog, this stuff. Oh shit, that's a game changer. You do, in fact, move this thing a little faster if you're holding down the sprint button. Wow, speed strats.
Mako gas levels reduced by 70%. No Mako gas detected. Elevator access granted.
Yes, I'm going for the 80%. Going for the speed run. It's only taking me 2.5 hours to get to a point you usually get to in less than 2. I keep looking at everything and talking about everything. Oh yeah, what do elixirs look like? I never actually bothered to look at those. Wow, it's beautiful. Artificial cherry flavored. Excuse me. Definitely not important, Shinra soldier. Okay. So, thinking about the thing that's coming up, I think I want to get rid of the magnify materia on Clown, put the precision defense thing in there. Okay, so empowerment, that's level boosted. We got fire, we have assess. I think that's what I want for this upcoming thing.
Up ahead! Looks like a way out!
Wait.
Huh?
What?
Get back.
This way.
You said you wanted to be a hero.
Wish I hadn't.
It thinks we're after materia.
Someone should tell it we're not.
Be my guest.
Maybe try mixing it up more?
Try to mix it up a little.
That's what I said, bro. So yeah, this is the relocalized to be the Materia Garden. This was the Materia Keeper boss from the original, though. He didn't appear in the flashback. He was just, when you went to Mount Nibel in the original game, like in the present, he was just a guy that was like in front of the exit, and so you had to fight him. He's a good candidate for being like the tutorial boss fight. This boss fight is also, compared to Remake, he's easier than Guard Scorpion is. Guard Scorpion's kind of tough for a like tutorial style boss fight. Whoop, he's gonna grab me. There we go. Yeah, he gets pressured for a short amount of time if you avoid his grabs. Also, yeah, I just countered with
Gotta keep your guard up.
with Punisher mode there. You can do perfect blocks with Punisher as well.
Stand back.
Shit.
Try to keep your guard.
Damn it. Let's see. Getting grabbed.
Not doing so great.
Still
Rookies.
Still release enemies from grabs by, you know, just doing a lot of damage, or in this case, doing a lot of damage to its leg in particular. Something interesting I noticed is, you know, Sephiroth has a bunch of mastered materia. A little combat balance change from Remake is, you know, it takes more MP to cast the higher levels of the spells, but the, like, Faraga, on top of taking way more MP, also takes 2 ATB charges to use now instead of just 1. Which I thought was neat.
I owe you one.
When we're done.
Of course.
Stand back.
You're nothing.
Brace yourself.
On me.
Yeah, Sephiroth's moves increase the stagger percentage too.
Done.
Sephiroth.
pretty mobile.
Till we knock it down.
Good thing I don't just fight with a sword.
Sephiroth!
You're in good hands.
Yeah, that dodge with Sephiroth means you can get right up to that leg real easy.
Got him!
Move in.
Copy!
Gotcha.
It's all you.
You're practically panting.
I'm excited.
Such a puppy.
They know what they're doing. So yeah, this is where they introduce synergy abilities. Also this music. Also this boss fight, like using the standard battle theme from Remake for the first phase, and then the second phase is a rearrangement of that theme combined with a new arrangement of One Winged Angel, kicks ass. Oh, it's so good. So the way synergy abilities work is when you're spending ATB charges, it wasn't in the HUD before until this point, there's a bunch of little pips underneath the ATB gauge. Every time you use an ATB gauge, you fill in one of those pips, and they get stored just for the rest of the battle. Those pips are like a different type of currency used to do synergy abilities. Also this part of the song right here, man. I think here? Almost. I want to kill this boss too fast. I want to hear the rest of this song. Here.
Don't like the looks of this.
Stay alert.
On me.
Yes, sir.
Whoa. That was insane.
And then the One Winged Angel comes in right after that. Like, fuck, man. That's so good.
Might want to steer clear of the gas.
Defense, Cloud. Can't go near the Mako. Watch the gas.
That was a parry right there.
Damn it! Not again!
Get it.
Also, another interesting thing is when you use those synergy abilities, like the really big ones that, you know, take the pips to use, each synergy ability has its own, like, buffs it applies to your party members who just use the ability. Sephiroth's is ridiculous. It gives him infinite MP for, like, a minute.
Got ya.
Take it from here.
It's a good boss fight.
Nice work.
Thanks, I love you.
Okay, hold up. Maybe I'm missing something here, but everything you've said makes Sephiroth sound like a stand-up guy.
Well, he was.
And now he's pure evil, trying to kill everyone on the planet. Help me to understand this shit. Tell me something that'll really make my blood boil.
Oh, I will. I will. You wait out here, Tifa.
No way! I want to go too. Please?
Sorry, no civilians.
No cowboys allowed.
Mission.
Come on!
Keep the young lady safe.
Carry on.
Ugh! You better keep me safe. I really wanted to see the reactor. Would it kill this guy to say something?
It's very good.
Didn't expect it to be all systems go.
You'd think it'd be running at reduced output, like most last-gen models.
And let me guess, villagers don't have a clue about this.
Knowing Shinra? Of course not.
The company really needs to be more transparent.
Tell that to the president.
What exactly is the problem with this place?
The people in charge. While most reactors are under the jurisdiction of urban planning, this one is overseen by R&D.
Huh. Why do I suddenly have a bad feeling about this?
Whatever you see here, you are not to speak of it.
Oh, I won't.
Yeah, automated lip flap is way better looking.
Perhaps you'd like to say a few words to your sword first? Hojo, you are really something.
What are those things?
This part's just really well done.
Genova? Wasn't that...
The malfunction must be forcing the pods to depressurize. Cloud, go out and shut off the valve.
Copy.
So I have turned it off because it seems to make these actions go faster. But there's certain parts in this demo where it's like you have to use these shoulder buttons to turn a valve or crawl or whatever. And they're basically there to be like the PS5 controller has like those resistive triggers. Thankfully they have an option to like change how much resistance there is, and I turned it off, and it makes these meters fill slightly faster, I think.
What are you doing?
These pods were built for the production of artificial materia. But Hojo repurposed them as incubators, cages for animals, and fused with Mako, all to birth a new breed of monster. But he didn't stop at animals. Oh no. There were other subjects. Look.
Yay, it's the same weird, creepy guy from the original.
My mother's name was Genova. Could it be that I was created the same way? Am I the same as these monsters?
Sephiroth.
Ever since I was a child, I knew that I was different, that I was special.
I was born 7 feet tall, after all.
Not like this. Am I even human?
Eventually, we went back to the inn. But when we got there, Sephiroth locked himself in his room.
The mayor had been looking forward to having dinner with bona fide soldiers, so he didn't take the news too well. Dad had to put up with his belly aching for hours afterward.
Huh?
Must have sucked. But what about Sephiroth? What happened to him?
He left. Didn't tell a soul where he was going.
I met Sephiroth as he was heading for Shinra Manor, and he acted like I wasn't even there. Busy, I suppose.
Look. I know he's really cool and tall and handsome, and he thinks I'm cool too. I'm sorry you can't share in that experience.
Haven't heard anything about the reactor either. What happened up there anyway? Haven't heard anything about the reactor either.
That's the only thing he's got to say.
What
Okay.
happened up there anyway?
Zangan, hello.
Sephiroth. I did see him leave a little while ago.
He's holed up inside the mansion.
Something's been off ever since he came back from the reactor. Too much exposure to Mako? Then we ought to bring him some medicine. Sephiroth. I saw him headed toward the mansion.
Sephiroth wasn't looking so hot when he passed.
This is another thing I was like really hoping that
Shinra Manor was the biggest building in town, and older than the reactor. The company used to conduct research there, back when they were still a small manufacturer. Even so, the rent on that plot was basically what kept the village afloat.
yeah. I'm really glad that they
I mean, the whole place is pitch
did the mansion pretty well as pretty well too. And also that little like additional lore bit of this mansion like basically keeping the town afloat because Shinra pays for this thing to be here for some reason. That's also from that book I was talking about earlier. There's a good explanation for why this mansion is here.
Go and check on Sephiroth for us, will ya?
Hurry, please.
I still haven't finished reading that whole book though, because it's divided in half between stuff about Tifa and then stuff about Aerith, and I haven't gotten around to the part about Aerith. Fucking Resident Evil ass looking mansion.
Took a look around the place, but Sephiroth was nowhere to be seen.
Sadly, you can't play this piano. It's all broken.
Never knew it had a basement.
Was news to me too. Doubt anyone in the village had a clue.
I am bummed that the big spiral staircase isn't here anymore. That goes really far underground. I thought that was a really cool way to go to the basement of this place. But anyways, this door here, have a fairly good idea what's behind that door. Not gonna say what, but it's important.
Excavated from a 2,000-year-old rock layer. A life form in stasis. Professor Gast named this life form Genova. MEGL 77-1977. Genova. Verified as an ancient. MEGL 9/13/1977. Genova project approved.
I've always wanted someone to pronounce the dates from Final Fantasy VII.
The life form Genova. And once they understood what she was, they grew ambitious.
Hey, Sephiroth. What you got there?
Leave me be.
And that was it. He stayed holed up in the basement. Reading, like a man possessed.
This is too much fan fiction to read.
We got Genova. A locked reactor door. The name of Sephiroth's mother. In Ancients. Screw it. Racking my brain's not gonna get me anywhere. May as well just ask the guy.
Ah, Cloud. I've come across the most fascinating passage.
I'm brainstorming a lot of Let's Play jokes
Found in strata dating
for this
back
scene.
2,000 years.
Racking my brain.
Smiled with what could only be described as ethereal grace. Though the truth eluded me at first, I later determined that she was an ancient, or a steward of the planet, as they are referred to in legend. She needed a name, and so I dubbed her Genova. The Genova project was approved soon after. A bold initiative to resurrect the long-dead ancients. An initiative that resulted in my conception. Or rather, my creation.
That's a camera cut where the textures don't look right.
Crowning glory of Professor Gas' wondrous experiment.
He created you?
I've seen several people in the chat excited to see Sephiroth do a specific thing in this scene. But remember, the thing you're thinking of does not happen in the flashback. So you won't see it here.
I should go. Mother is waiting.
Hey! Hey, hold on! I keep asking myself, why couldn't I have come to sooner? If I had, maybe I could have saved the village. Or tried, at least. What?
Hey, you! Get in there! The villagers need your help!
Watch out! Please.
Let me through! My son's still in there!
I'm sorry. He's gone.
So if I have any criticisms of anything I've seen in the demo, aside from, the things I brought up earlier that were just, technical things and audio bouncing, I'm fine with doing the slow walk like hobbling for this segment. I think the slow walk is a little too slow. And I don't particularly like this leg dragging animation, because even though you're always going the same constant speed, the hobbling makes it feel like you're going way less. And what's strange is there's a little bit later where Cloud's going to get knocked down, get up, and do a different hobbling animation where he's able to use both legs, and it's like the same speed, essentially, but it feels way better. Yeah, like the animation is just... I'm hoping this gets tweaked for the final release if this build is old enough for that to be a thing that's even possible, but I don't know.
Hold on,
Like, he's hobbling because he's... You know... He can't move that leg much because it got, you know... A bunch of fucking wood slammed down on it. But it's just... There needs to be something else to make it feel... better. Also, yeah, that guy that comes out of the building isn't like... It takes a second for him to go into his, like, I'm panicked and scared animation. And my other criticism is, if you're gonna do the crouch to get underneath this stuff, you better have a different animation for it so it doesn't look like suddenly his leg is fine when he's going underneath this stuff. Being a little picky... If they don't change this, it's fine. The game's still fine, but it is a pivotal enough moment that I would like to see that extra polish there if possible. Because, like, in a second, you're going to see a different hobbling animation that's way better.
Please be okay.
It's a very brief bit where you walk more. And look at this. Way better. Should have been moving like this the whole time. That one's way better. It exists. Just use it for the whole thing.
Run away. You have to leave. You have to live.
Hey,
That's a good bit.
Hey. Hang in there. You're gonna be okay. Don't worry. I got you. Come on, let's get you up.
Murderer! You monster!
There he is! Sephiroth! Stop! You sick son of a bitch! That's far enough! Drop the sword!
I'm interested to see, because I was talking about, you know, turning off the resistive... Okay. The resistance on the triggers, seemingly making these things fill a bit faster. Because the anime... This is better. This is a little better, actually, yeah. I'll talk about this in a second. In a second here, they're gonna recreate one of the most iconic looking shots, and I think they do really good.
I'm coming.
Because they throw a curveball at me. IMO.
Sephiroth!
this. So at first, like, okay, he's gonna do the evil smile. That shit is so good. That smile where then his eyes flicker and then his face just drops like way too fast is really fucking good. That is such good facial animation that, like, I feel like a lot of the extended universe stuff and the way, you know, the general image of Sephiroth is that he's very evil and camp about it, and he likes to do an evil little smile, you know? That shot in the original game when he was looking down and then kind of looks up more towards the camera, he doesn't smile ever. He's just like a neutral face with his eyes kind of like, you know, a little wide open, just like a little unhinged. So when they do that first smile, it's like, okay, that's kind of what I thought they were going for. But when they do that second smile where like his eyes like flutter and like look in a weird direction for a second and his face just goes slack, is a level of nuance for Sephiroth I thought I would never see ever. Like, that is more subtle than I would ever expect for a Sephiroth character scene, and I think that's really fucking good. It makes him spooky. He's spooky in that scene. But yeah, the other thing I was going to say is because I turned the resistance off on the triggers, it might be a placebo thing. I would actually have to compare. I don't know if I really care that much, but it does feel like those meters for the L2 and R2 buttons fill up a little faster when there's not resistance you're fighting against, which means the scene where Cloud is crawling goes by a bit faster, which also means the guys with the shotguns are just standing around, not doing anything for less time. Because, like, I like what's happening there. You know, they all surround Sephiroth with their, you know, their rifles and shotguns, and then they don't fire because he's the world's most legendary war hero, super soldier, who was there to, like, you know, who was there to do some random job at their town, and it was supposed to be just a great honor that he was visiting them, and then he's fucking murdering everybody. So it makes sense that even though you have a gun pointed straight at him, you might be terrified to pull the trigger because you know he's just going to slice the bullet in half or whatever. It's just slightly too long. Like, for the length it goes, I wish like a single guy tried to shoot his gun and Sephiroth immediately just like slices the bullet in half, or, you know, slices the guy right as he shoots it so the gun fires off in a different direction. I wish that was there. Or if you're not going to do that, just make the crawling a little bit faster. Really small thing. I'm very, very curious because it's like I've seen some comparison shots because a part of this chapter was shown as a press demo last year, months ago, like 5 months ago or something like that. And when you compare those segments of the press demo to this demo, there's a lot of visual changes. The lighting's different. There's just more polish in the lighting and stuff, especially in like the Materia Guardian fight. It was not color graded green, so everything was kind of this weird mix of green light being cast from the boss in a more brown looking area, and it was a weird clash of colors. So I'm just very curious, like, how old this demo build is, and if there's been any more changes since then, because I could see, if it was old enough, those small little things that bother me in that village section right at the end with the hobbling animation and just the timing in general of the guys with the shotguns. If it's old enough, I could see those things being tweaked. If that's how it is in the final game, that's unfortunate. It's a really pivotal scene that it feels uncharacteristic that it wouldn't get that level of care when, like, the actual cutscenes in that section are really, really good. It's just the parts where you're moving Cloud, there's some weird stuff going on. It's like, you know, the bit of like Sephiroth just like getting these really just like cleanly stabbing the sword through people Like, there's no force behind his stabs. He just pokes them with it and they're fucking dead. Like, he just does not give a shit that he's doing this. Is really good. Like I was just talking about, all the facial expressions is really good. The music is really good there. Like, it turns into it almost turns into like a horror movie, like a slasher thing almost for that part, which I think is really good. Yeah, it's just when you're moving that things are a little weird, and I'm curious if that's getting changed at all. But yeah, the demo's really fucking good, man. It makes me really excited for the full thing, which is coming out very shortly. It comes out on the 29th of this month. So like barely like 3 weeks. And there's one other little thing that I wish was actually different there, and I understand why it's not like this. I don't need ultra violence or anything. I do wish when that sword goes to that guy trying to help Cloud, that there was a little bit of blood on the blade. You only see like a splash of blood close to the camera when he does initially get stabbed, and that's just because they're going for a certain game rating, and violence in Japan is tougher to get in video games without getting a higher rating. Like, there's a reason why the blood trail, the Genova blood trail in Remake, is purple goo instead of blood. Because in the original Final Fantasy VII, it's just big smears of blood all over the floor and on the walls and stuff, because a bunch of people had been fucking killed by Genova, or Sephiroth, rather. So I understand why it's not like that. There's a little bit of blood in the intermission DLC, but it was also a very small amount when Sonon dies, and like a little bit of blood gets on Yuffie's face, That could also be another change where, you get the full game and there's more blood there because it's just one demo they make for all regions. They don't want to do extra work to censor certain ones and not others. I don't know. Who knows? I wouldn't be surprised if it's that same level of blood in the final game. It would match the level that was in Remake. But yeah, if I hit any button, it's going to play another mini trailer. I'm going to hit the button and let it play for you folks so you can see what's going on there. I'm not going to watch it. This isn't the full trailer they showed. This is like a smaller teaser. But yeah, fair warning, if you don't want to see it, leave for like the next 90 seconds or something. It's a short trailer. I'm leaving too to like go to the bathroom and get some water. And I'll be back. So there's your warning. I'll also I'll put a little timestamp in the YouTube VOD too, so you know to skip where you need to skip to, rather. So be right back.
I'm back now, Aerith. I'm back.
Therefore, we ask that you retrieve it. The black materia, key to our oblivion.
You should get yourself a reading!
Well, Red, how do we look?
Huh?
It's gotta be hiding some ginormous materia! Woohoo!
Don't misunderstand. You'll need a way home. So when you're ready, I'll be here.
You said that Sephiroth is your foe. I have a history with him.
With all this goddamn blood on my hands, how could I ever hold my daughter again?
Those we hate, those we love, those we fear. Genova would become anyone to fool her prey.
Don't do this!
But I'm no fool.
Here. Take it. This isn't about me, though. It's about saving the world. And you.
The reunion. When spite and sorrow are harvested to feed the planet.
Okay. I guess I don't really need my headphones for this. So, just in case... oops, my camera. Just in case you haven't seen any streams I've been on with my wife, Voidburger, and found me on Twitter or something, you might not know that I got a cat. His name is Vivi, after, you know, the little guy from Final Fantasy IX. He's very wiggly right now. There he is. Yeah, looking right at the camera. What a good guy. We did not plan to adopt a cat. He was just a stray little kitten who showed up near our apartment. How old is he? He's... Let me think. He's like 8 months old, I think. A little more than 8 months. He's still a kitten. He's still baby. What are you looking at? I think he's got food on the mind. He can hear that a peanut butter and jelly sandwich has been made, and he wants it real bad. Anyways, he's a pretty chill guy. Just gets wiggly sometimes. He's in a bit of a moody teen phase, so he's less cuddly than he was when we first found him, but he's still a good guy. Anyways, that's the cat. How'd you go? Okay. So, oh man, that's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It seems really cool. I refuse to watch any more of those trailers. I have seen enough. The only other thing I will look at before the game comes out is just this other part of the demo that's coming out, which is the 21st, so 2 weeks from today is when that comes out. Oh, thanks for liking my shirt. It looks like it's a bunch of fruits, but also it's a whole lot of little Yoshis eating the fruits. Squall showed up in the trailer? My god. So yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. It's getting really hot in here. Because the door's closed and my stream PC is pumping out a good amount of heat. Yeah, thanks for watching. Like I said at the start of the stream, the final Kingdom Hearts Let's Play update is coming out on Friday. I just got to finish up a little bit more audio editing and then it's good to go. Then after that, we got the tiny short Zork Let's Play. That was a charity stream goal for some friends of ours. And then after that, you'll just have to see. It's pretty easy to guess what the next major Let's Play will be, but you'll see. Anyways, before we go, I gotta do my little outro. See ya.
What happens when I say the word Galaxian? What do you think of?
Star Wars.
Star Wars. What about when I say Dragon's Lair and Donkey Kong?
Video games.
Do you like video games?
No.
Do you play them?
No.